Well, so I'm really excited that we are going to make a course about giving presentations. I think that there's a big need, as we've discussed already. Looking at other materials, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but they're really missing, I think, a big piece of what people need, to really be effective.
I agree. I've been giving presentations for a number of years now, and I've looked at a lot of different materials. I've taught presentations to my students, and I've picked up so many interesting things from so many different sources. But the one thing that I feel is missing in a lot of the presentation courses that are out there, a lot of the materials that teach you how to give good presentations, is the fact that when you get up on the stage and when you're up in front of a group of people, you get really scared and nervous, and all that stuff you've learned just goes right out the window.
Yeah, I know. So many, books, they'll tell you to be careful with, your speech patterns. For example, don't say too many times, or maybe they have you counting those things, or they talk about how to organize your speeches. So you get all these kind of little tips that are all good, but the problem is you can't think about all that stuff. You get up there and you're nervous and your heart's pounding, boom, 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 and you're kind of breathing heavy, and you forget all of that stuff. You can't be focusing on, how many times you say or
That's right, yeah.
You just need, if you could just speak in a somewhat normal, comfortable way,
Yeah.
I think you would feel, that would be a huge improvement for most people, just to be able to speak in a conversational way.
That's right, and one of the biggest challenges with being able to do that is it's really difficult to practice for that. I mean, the very thing that causes you to shut down and your mouth to get dry and you get the butterflies in your stomach and you can't think anymore, the very thing that causes that is being up in front of a group of people. So how do you practice being up in front of a group of people in order to prepare for that? And I think that's a really interesting point.
Yeah, because, you can work through your outline. You could even memorize a whole speech. There are all kinds of things you can do by yourself.
Yes.
But the point is that you're not in that same emotional state.
Exactly.
So you're alone, you're calm. So there's all kinds of things you can do when you're practicing alone, but then it's a totally different emotional state to be standing in front of a group, whether it's, 20 people or 200 or 2,000. And
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Your emotions take over. Things happen to your physical body, like the heartbeat and your breathing and tension, shaking, all these kind of things, which are adrenaline reactions.
And they're totally normal. They're perfectly normal.
Yeah. It happens. It still happens to me.
Sure.
I experience it more as excitement now.
Yeah.
But all those physical responses. Yeah. It's how do you practice that at home?
How do you practice it at home, and how do you deal with it in the moment?
Yeah.
Because really, you're on the spot. You need to perform. You can't shut down in front of other people. And certainly, you don't want to, make a fool of yourself, or, that feeling that people are judging you and you feel self-conscious. You need techniques to overcome that in the moment.
Yeah,
that work, that are powerful.
Right.
So that you can set yourself free and be the person that you are in front of all those people.
Right, because, most people have no problem if you just sit down with them face-to-face, one-on-one. They could tell you about their topic so easily, just talk away, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But then they stand in front of a group and suddenly they can't. So right. Do they really need to learn how to organize their thoughts? Is that really the main problem?
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is, because they can do it one-on-one.
Yeah. So
it's not like they're stupid and they don't know how to organize a speech.
No. So basically what you need to do is when you get up in front of a group of people, you need to find techniques so that you feel as if you're talking to someone in a very casual one-on-one way.
Right.
And that's hard to do because your body tells you one thing and your mind tells you a different thing.
Right.
And how do you find that grounding that makes you feel real comfortable, real smooth, so that you can really share the main message that you have for people?
Yeah, it really is. It's about managing that emotional state, which, it's a combination of thoughts that start spinning in your head, and then the physical reactions, which again, it's just that fight or flight. It's that adrenaline response that happens. But you can learn to channel it. You can't suppress it. You can't, push it down or try to stop it, because then that just makes it worse. You just tighten up. That's what most people do. Just go away. And they try to force themselves to be calm, and then the more they try to force themselves to be calm, then the more tight they become.
That's right, and then they start smiling and sweating, and
their throat kind of tightens up, and their voice gets kind of weird.
Well, actually, I know all about it because I've had a long history of stage fright, starting from at a very young age. And I'll never forget, my very first piano recital, getting up in front of 30 or 40 parents and totally forgetting everything I had practiced for the last, several months. And it was a terrible feeling. And luckily, my mother came prepared. She had the sheet music with her, and she put it in front of me. And suddenly, I went back. I felt like I was practicing again because there was that sheet music in front of me, and I was able to play beautifully after that. So where's our sheet music when we're up there? How do we mentally put ourselves in that state? That's a really interesting question.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, getting into the state, and eventually you get to the point, and this is where it becomes fun, I think, where you actually can use that extra energy, the quote nervous energy, and to actually make yourself more powerful. I mean, now when I do a presentation, I like to have a bigger group. So when I start getting the heartbeat going and all that, for me now I feel like, oh yeah, this is great. I'm getting energized. I'm getting excited, and I'm channeling that, and it feels powerful to me now. In the beginning, of course, it was the total opposite.
Sure.
So, but the point is that the feeling doesn't go away, the physical reaction doesn't go away, but you learn how to, with specific techniques, specific methods, you can really learn how to take all of that and use it,
channel it
as kind of fuel, as power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, exciting. So I think that the key thing that we can really offer, rather than a big long list of techniques, don't say or do your main point and then do this and this and this.
Sure.
I think what we can really offer are lots of strategies and methods and specific techniques to handle the emotions and the physical reaction, and to really master that.
Absolutely. Not only in the actual presentation or public speaking session itself, but also how to prepare for that, how to prepare your body and mind so that when you're in that situation, you can do those things. You can channel that energy. You can transform that energy and really connect with your heart and your passion and put that out in a way that's smooth and powerful and confident. And I think that would be a wonderful thing for people to learn how to do.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. It's something that has to be trained.
Yes.
I mean, you can't just hope it'll happen.
No.
And you certainly don't want to wait until you're giving your big speech
Oh, no.
for it to happen.
No.
But there are ways you can, practice this on your own, train yourself, so that when it happens in the real world, it's time for the big moment.
That's
You're
right.
ready, and you've
ready.
already trained your mind
Exactly.
and body.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to putting these materials together and really sharing them with all the people that I think it would really help. It would really help a lot of people.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
Yeah.
I think so.
So good.
Great.